This is from Osun State. We're playing the ostrich is a clever way of shifting and not accepting responsibility no matter the issues involved. This seems to be the style of the politicking adopted by politicians in Nigeria. A former commissioner for finance under the administration of the immediate past governor of Osun State, BOLA Oyebamiji, has released figures showing that the government of Gboyega Oyetola's predecessor, that's Engineer Rauf Aregbesola, was responsible for the 407 billion naira debt of the state. Oyebamiji exonerated the government of his former boss, Gboyega Oyetola, of procuring any debt for the state. He further faulted the statement on Thursday by the incumbent governor, Senator Adeleke, who described it as a vindictive campaign of calumny, stating that the Oyetola administration accrued a lot of debt for the state. Well, a lot of, banters here and there, and but I really want to commend the royal fathers of Osun State, starting from the Oni and the Oluwo, who have cleverly urged the new governor focus on governance and leave the politicking for now. You're now in the seat. Look at how you can handle the situation and make the lives of your people better. But let's come to the issues. Are these issues of mudslinging, debt, loans, are this something that should be a recurrent feature in our politics? And why is this like a form of blackmail, or there are issues to be really addressed in all of this?
Well, I think both. It's both a measure of political blackmail, and also we cannot run away from the fact that there are fundamental issues being raised by both sides. But one thing is lacking, and that is institutional structure for political transition. I don't know whether it's Ekiti that has just made that law. If a government wants to transit from one government to the other, there should be institutional structures so that we save ourselves from all this kind of, figures, backstabbing and all that. And we are talking of a situation where the transition committee, we have people from Oyetola, is commissioner of finance. Then the incoming government will bring some experts who are financial experts. Then the accountant general of the state will be there. Maybe about a month before the handover, they will all sit down, look at all the figures,
the books,
and come out with a document that is agreeable to all the parties. That didn't happen. That didn't happen in this case. There was no transition committee that the other parties were all involved. So we are now listening to contradictory figures. 408 billion. Aregbesola is saying that he has settled most of the debts, that what is outstanding are funds for long-term infrastructure. And of course, the Commissioner for Finance of Oyetola said Aregbesola should be blamed. But I think that's a self-defeatist statement. Because if you are blaming Aregbesola, your governor was his chief of staff. He was part of that government. So I think instead of this, and of course we also have the debt management office in Abuja. So I think there should be the accountant general of the state should come up with correct figures so that we can, and then the debt management office in Abuja. For now, it's very difficult to take, to know what is actually happening. Adeleke is saying that, he met debt. Oyetola is saying that he left 14 billion. So who is actually saying the truth? But I think the new governor, he started on a very rough note. I felt that coming in, he should have taken time to study the books. Studying the books of a state is not something you do, in 24 hours. Take your time, be painstaking. Call your accountant general, hold a meeting with them, and then they will now come out with a figure. Then, people, but as it is, it's a continuation of political battle. That we are seeing in Oyo State.
Senator Adeleke, the new governor or the incumbent governor of Osun State, has not spent up to 2 months or 3 months in office. And this was the issues that the royal fathers raised, that how much time has it taken you to see all this? Because you've not even spent up to a month in office, to be very honest. So is this more like just a blackmail, or you're just raising dust where there is no dust? But let's look at it beyond Osun State. Osun State is just an instance, but this is something we've seen happen across board, especially when an opposition is taking over from another party. Should we always use this as a form of distraction or blackmail to distract the government, or perhaps anyone who is taking over? Like we've said severally on this show, government is a continuum, and whatever liabilities or assets you're inheriting, you move forward and do the best you can do.
You see, politicians will always be, they are actors and actresses, in my opinion. It's just that sometimes they overact. And that's when you have dramas like this. In my opinion, all the gladiators in Osun State are playing to the gallery. The three of them, or the three camps, as we want to put it now, are just dramatizing. How do I mean? A good look at all the arguments, you realize that the three are saying the same thing. The three of them are actually saying the same thing. But what the problem is that while Adeleke is trying to pin it on Oyetola and excuse Aregbesola, Oyetola's people are eager to remind Adeleke that that's the man you should be holding. And Aregbesola on his own is trying to say, look, I paid off what I borrowed, except for long-term loan. Aregbesola did not borrow any money. Neither did Oyetola borrow money. The government of Osun State borrowed money. And that's not something we should be telling these grown-up men. It is the government. Took loans. Oyetola was part of that administration. Adeleke was in the opposition at that time. He should know what is going on. This is a state he waited for years to govern. He started on a very terrible note. That was why he came out and made one allegation that Osun lost money under Oyetola because those mining gold were not made to pay. So he didn't have advisors and experts that would tell him that they don't pay to state governments, that's a federal function. He's showing a lot of signs that makes us fear that he may not have the readiness to actually govern that state, and it is not good. Talking about this money issue, Aregbesola borrowed money. From the records we've seen from all the camps, Aregbesola took loans for certain projects, some of them immediate, some of them long-term. Agreed with those providing that other successive government will continue to service or pay. Oyetola inherited those loans, did his bit with it, and now Adeleke is in office. He should do just two things, in my opinion. Sit down, look at the loans, which I doubt if he had done in just 3-4 weeks. Thoroughly. What use were these monies put to? If he called those traditional rulers to tell them that we have discovered that this money was borrowed and we can't find what they have spent it on, this loan was taken, we can't find how it was spent, he will be saying something new. To come and tell traditional rulers who have been part and parcel of nearly all the administrations since the creation of the state that people borrowed money, they will just look at you. We know government is borrowing money, and that's why you saw how the traditional ruler reacted. That you are not saying anything new, Mr. Governor. You are not complaining that you cannot find the money or you cannot find what they have been spent on. You are just telling us they borrowed money. We know governments borrow. You are still going to borrow money. Now, he should sit down and govern Osun State. He should look at his books, see what has been done right, see what has been done wrongly, and see how he can do something new and move on with the Osun people expect more than bitterness.
And I hope, his campaign slogan, which is Imole Deme, a light is coming.
It should shed light on things.
It should not just eclipse so soon. Yeah. But let's wrap up, gentlemen. The concern for many is the fact that a previous APC government is accusing a former APC government. Perhaps the internal bickerings between the Aregbesola camp and the Oyetola camp, it's rearing its ugly head again. What should the party be bothered, especially the Osun State chapter of the party?
I think the party should be bothered. Oyetola has ruled for 4 years. What people expect him to do is to account for the 4 years, not to be talking about the previous 8 years, because he took that mantle of leadership, knowing fully well there were challenges. And I think Adeleke was just coming. He should not be giving us the impression that, look, I'm going to fail after 4 years, but these are the reasons why I will fail. I mean, you know that every state has one depth or the other. But every day you keep on talking, oh, there are problems, so there are landmines. Look, face your, what's your own program?
You knew what you were getting
into. Yes, what's your agenda?
You waited for 4 years.
You waited for 4 years, So,
okay.